Ranking the best theme teams in Madden 23. Today we're back here with another tier list. Today I'm going to be updating the best theme teams in Madden 23. Now right before I do go on ahead and rank the first team, I do want to go ahead shout out the comment of the day. Now the first team we're going to go over is Legends. I feel like there's no doubt about it where this team should rank. I mean, just look at like all the players they have. All these players get boosted by 1 speed, and every single year in Madden, the best players in the game are Legends. So no doubt about it, for me, this team is an easy S tier, gonna be the only one in this video. So now, before we go any further, let's talk about theme teams real quick, because there's one glaring thing, and to me, that's quarterback. Every single theme team has the best quarterback in the game in John Elway, but you know, he's like 3.8 million coins right now. For my rankings, I'm going with like the best overall team, right? So he's going to be included, but I will talk about their backup quarterback too, because I know a lot of people, including myself, cannot afford Elway right now. So let's go over the 49ers. So offensive line, you get a discounted edge pros with Trent Williams and Tom Compton. Really, the two positions you want to use like holes on for offense would be center and right guard. Not the best O-line in the world. Have 3 very good tight ends in Delaney Walker, George Kittle, and Casper. You have Jerry Rice, Michael Crabtree, Debo, or Randy Moss. I still think Randy Moss is usable to this day on a theme team, especially one that'll boost his speed by 2. CMC's a great running back, and for backup quarterback, Steve Young, also very, very usable, very top end. I have him as like a top 5 QB in the game. For linebackers, I'm really only valuing like pass rushers, so like, you know, them not having great middle linebackers not really gonna hurt their rankings for me. But free safety's good with Rod Woodson and Ronnie Lott. A little bit starting to get a little bit dated, but Jimmy Ward probably not the best either, and Hufanga is not really that great either. So the safeties are a little bit of a weakness minus Rod Woodson. Deion's fantastic. Eric Allen, given their other CBs, you know, might want to use Eric Allen for the team captain, and Samuel Womack. I like Womack, I like Deion Sanders, but other than that, man, secondary is a little bit rough. Karlaftis, I believe he gets like a bunch of team chems, so he's good. Nick Bosa's good. Sam Adams, again, if you use Eric Allen, you won't get him. You'd have DeForest Buckner, which I don't mind, and potentially like Eric Armstead as the other pass rusher. So I like the offense. I don't really like the defense. I'm gonna be honest. I think that is a B tier theme team. They have some really top end players at some position groups, but lacking in others. Now we got the Bears. So the Bears get a good right tackle, get a good center. And other than that, O-line, definitely a weakness, right? Tight end, you get 3 good ones with Greg Olsen, Dave Casper, Mike Ditka. Quarterback, John Elway, like I said, best quarterback in the game. But Justin Fields, this point in the game, not getting a CFP league quarterback, not really the move, I'll be honest with you. But again, they have Elway, so they're fine. Running back, you have so many good ones. You have Matt Forte, Walter Payton, you have Aaron Jones. You also have Khalil Herbert as well, who's pretty good. Receiver, Hester's great, Marshall's great. Potentially using the team captain spot on Keyshawn Johnson, I don't think that's a bad idea. And then heading over to the defense, CB's really, really solid with Deion, Charles Tillman, Tracy Porter, Justin Fields. I like those 4 corners right there. And you also had defensive tackle, had the Fridge, Robert Quinn, Julius Peppers. You could make it work to where you don't need Sam Adams, so Keyshawn Johnson's probably the move for this team. Eddie Jackson and Dane Cruikshank at free safety is definitely a glaring weakness, but Cordell Patterson's great. Really, you could use a hole on another safety. Leonard Floyd's one of the best, probably the best pass rusher in the game, him and Aaron Donald. Roquan and Brian Urlacher, if you want a theme team to run linebackers with, this is a great one to do because they both get 1 AP lurker. So yeah, I mean, I like the team. I think there's a couple, like, do I think they're I think they're right by the 49ers, I'll be honest, and I think they might be better than the 49ers. And I think this is one of our biggest risers because the Bears were in F tier last video. Now the Bengals. You have a pretty solid offensive line. I believe you could move Lael Collins or Willie Anderson to some other positions, or Anthony Munoz as well. And then you could probably make this offensive line work to where you don't need to use a hole on that spot. Dave Casper's great. Receivers, Charlie Jordan, Jamar Chase, Marvin Jones, Chad Johnson as well. Receivers, really, really good. Just lacking a little bit of height, but Jamar Chase is amazing. Running back, this Joe Mixon on theme team I still think is decent. For backup quarterback, Ryan Fitzmagic is also really, really good as well. So offense is fine. I think the offense is pretty good. Defensive side of the ball, you have Deion, you have probably Eric Allen as your second corner, and Darqueze Dennard. CB's a glaring weakness. Free safeties are also a little bit dated. Von Bell on a theme team, I don't really mind though. And linebackers don't really offer you nothing. And you don't really get any pass rushers either. Like Trey Hendrickson's good, but other than that, nothing really too special. And if you don't have Sam Adams as the team captain, right, you got to rock with like DJ Reader. Team needs some major upgrades in my opinion. I think their offense, though, is solid enough that I'm going to put them in the C tier. So for the Buffalo Bills, you get a full basically offensive line, but really the only one I'd use is Wyatt Teller because all these other ones are going to get like crazy shedded. Pete's great. Casper's great. Tremaine Edmonds. You have 3 great tight ends on your team. You have Josh Allen as backup QB, one of my top 5 quarterbacks in the game for sure. Shady, Beast Mode, and even Singletary. I all like them. Stephon Diggs, Andre Reed, and potentially either like Robert Woods, Gabriel Davis. Keyshawn Johnson, you could use a spot on and make the offense like pretty solid, but the offensive line, major red flag for me. And defense side of the ball, we get Deion Sanders, Stephon Gilmore, and Kyer Elam. Again, major spots that you kind of want to use a team captain spot on. At safety, you have Micah Hyde and Laurie Malloy and Jordan Poyer. Safeties are good. Cornerback, a little bit lacking depending where you use your team captain at. Pass rushers, Von Miller, Bruce Smith, really, really good. And then Greg Rousseau in the middle or something like, again, a spot where you could use Sam Adams. I think the offense is good enough to where I think they're at least C. Like, I like some of their top end players once again, but they're just lacking at some major positions in my opinion. And now we got the Broncos. So the Broncos offensive line, Garrett Bowles, Tom Compton. You could move Gary Zimmerman like inside or something like that, and you have a pretty solid offensive line. Dave Casper's great. Noah Fant not really great. So you have one good tight end. That's not like a red flag or anything though. Quarterback Elway or Russ. I like both of these guys. Running back Terrell Davis is great. Receiver Cortland Sutton, Brandon Marshall. Those 2 are good. Probably gonna need to use the team captain spot on Keyshawn. I mean, Jerry Jeudy can get the job done though, but I prefer Keyshawn. So if you use the spot on Keyshawn, this is already looking like a pretty good team. Defense side of the ball though, you have Deion Sanders, you have Tracy Porter, Ty Law, and Champ Bailey. So you have great corners. You have Steve Atwater, who on a theme team at this point in the game, still kind of usable, kind of like where I put like Ronnie Lott, how I was feeling about him. Justin Simmons though, whew, kind of need an upgrade at free safety. But you have DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller as pass rushers, including Karlaftis when that card does drop as well. DJ Jones, this was a pre-order card, so you probably don't have that. Maybe Derek Wolfe in the middle too, so where you can use Keyshawn Johnson. I like the team. I'm gonna be honest. I think they're at least B tier. And do I think they're better than the Niners though? I like their CBs a lot more, so I'm gonna put them ahead of the Niners. And next up, we got the Browns, who offensive line wise, Bitonio, Jay, Wyatt Teller. The tackles are glaring weaknesses though. Tight end Dave Casper's great. Cager's also good as well. Receivers, you get Keyshawn, you get Amari. Ooh, receivers are rough. Running back really isn't that good either. You have Elway and you have Kozar. 2 of like, I would say these are probably my top 2 quarterbacks right now. Over to defense side of the ball, free safety, lacking. Strong safety, you have 2 good ones though, so you can play 1 at free and that doesn't really hurt you. Cornerback wise, if you got this Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson, not bad. And for passers like Clay Matthews, Paul Kruger, Myles Garrett, and then like Clowney in the middle, I don't mind it. And you also have like Ty McGill as well. I like I don't like the defense. I think they're okay. I think like on the C tier level, once again, they have some glaring weaknesses. And now the Bucks. So the Bucks probably have one of the most complete lines where you don't have to use holes. Randall McDaniels, great value. Jimmy Giles and Casper, great tight ends. Quarterback, you have Elway or Steve Young, same as 49ers. This time you get Shady at running back, but then receivers, man. Whoo! The receivers are down horrendous because he's basically Mike Evans. That's tough. Defense side of the ball, you get Darrelle Revis, you get Deion Sanders, you get Carlton Davis. I think their quarterbacks are still solid at this point. Jordan Whitehead's decent. Keanu Neal also pretty decent on a team. If you want to use a team with linebackers, White and Derek Brooks make a ton of sense as well. Pass rush wise, Karlaftis, Kevin Carter, and then like Warren Sapp. I mean, I don't mind it. I just think this team is like very like mid because of their receivers. I'm gonna be honest, their receivers make them like D tier. It's just like they need receiver upgrades straight up because receiver is one of the most important positions in the game. And now for the Cardinals, offensive line is atrocious. Todd Heap's great though. Casper's great. Crabtree, Fitz, DeAndre Hopkins, like the receivers, Emmitt Smith, Edge, great running backs. Elway or Murray, I don't mind Murray, and obviously Elway is the best. So offense, you need to fix the offensive line if you're going to run this. Defense side of the ball with Dion, Anus Williams, Night Train Lane, and Pat Pete. I like their cornerbacks. Strong safety, you can't run 2 Tyrants, so Budda Baker and Matthew as the safeties. Don't really like their safety duo because Matthew is a little bit shorter. Pass rush wise though, with Dwight Freeney, Karlaftis, Chandler Jones, Darnell Dockett, JJ Watt, all really good. Again, like the offensive line is just horrible. I like the receivers and corners, 2 of like my most important positions. I think they're a tier better than the Bucks. They're like bottom in the C. I just really like the two most important positions for me, wide receivers and corners. So I like them a lot. That's why they're C tier for me. And now we got the Chargers offensive line once again. Not bad, I guess. Like 84 left tackle and 84 right tackle. I don't really like that, but I guess you can get away with running it. Tight end with Casper and Gates. I'd run Gates with that 1 AP matchup nightmare. Quarterback, you either get Elway or you get Herbert. I hate this Herbert. Hate him, I hate him, I hate him. So if you can't afford Elway, quarterback's a red flag for me. LT is great. Charlie Joyner, Jacoby Jones, great. Kind of forced to use Keyshawn Johnson as your team captain though. So defense side of the ball, we got Dion, we got Casey Hayward, Desmond King, Bryce Callahan. Not really great, I'll be honest with you. Derwin's fantastic, and Adrian Phillips once again not really great. Pass rush wise, you get Dwight Freeney, you get Deacon Jones, Melvin Ingram as well. I mean, I just don't really think they're that great, I'll be honest. Like, offense is good, defense is a red flag. I think once again, just lobbed up in the C tier is fine, and I'd run the Cardinals over them. And now the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a pretty good offensive line minus right tackle. You could use a hole right here though. Tight end with Casper. Kelsey is amazing. I'd run Kelsey. Quarterback, you have Elway or Montana. You kind of need Elway with this team in my opinion. And then running back, Shady's great. Receiver, Tyreek Hill, Dante Hall. Small receivers, kind of red flag. You kind of need that big body, so using team captain Keyshawn makes a ton of sense. So we go over to the defense side of the ball though. Safeties, Sammy Knight and Tyrann Mathieu. I don't mind that, as Matthew being a second option. And Justin Reed kind of needs an upgrade. So you have two good safeties though. Corners with Dion, Ty Law, Revis, Sneed. I think they have at least 4 good corners on their team. You have Frank Clark, you have Karlaftis, you have T Sizzle, you have Melvin Ingram. Can make the pass rush work as well. I think they are a very, very solid team. They're going B tier for me. Now we got the Colts, who left tackle and right tackle, major red flag. Good tight end and Casper. Receivers are horrible. Running back with Dickerson, Edge, and Deion Jackson. They have strong running backs. So quarterback with Elway or Burt Jones, both really, really good, but the receivers are awful. Defense, Dion, Stephon Gilmore, Rocky Sin as well. Like, Malik Hooker's good. Julian Blackman, not good. Safeties are bad. This is a pretty bad team. I'll be honest. This is a really, really bad team. They're going to be the first team in F tier, in my opinion. And now we got the Washington Commanders. This is a great offensive line with Trent Williams and Tom Compton, Brandon Sheriff, Russ Grimm, Andrew Norwell. Perfect. Dave Casper's great. Receivers, Andre Reed. You got to use team captain Keyshawn and probably a hole at wide receiver 3. Gibson's a solid running back. Quarterback with Elway or Fitzmagic. Don't mind that. Defense with Deion Sanders, Tracy Porter, D'Angelo Hall, Champ Bailey as well. At least 4 good corners on the team. Bobby McCain isn't really that usable. I have him on the Fins team. Not really too usable. So I don't like their safeties. I love their CBs. I love their offensive line. Pass rush wise, you get Deacon Jones, Bruce Smith, like a Sean T card, a Ken Houston card away from being like an A tier team. But right now they're like tippy top in the C, because I like how you can use some of the holes on their team to make them like really, really good. But man, they're lacking at some major positions with receivers and safeties. Now we got the Cowboys. Once again, pretty solid offensive line. Tyron Smith, Forrest Gregg, Jason Witten at tight end with Casper and Mike Ditka, great tight ends. Quarterback, Elway or Bernie Kosar, again, great. Emmitt Smith, Zeke, and then receivers, Carmichael, Turpin, Amari Cooper. Man, can you get away with using Amari Cooper as wide receiver 3? Probably not. You might want to use Keyshawn right here, but I like Turpin, I like Carmichael. Defense side of the ball, they got Malik Hooker is great. Keanu Neal still kind of usable on a team, kind of. Cornerbacks, though, are struggling. The new Trevon Diggs from the MCS Compass will help, but they'll kind of need more than just 2 corners. And pass rush wise with DeMarcus Ware, Parsons, Ed Tutall, and like DeMarcus Lawrence or Sam Williams. I like their pass rush, but man, kind of need, once again, some major upgrades. I think they're like solid once again, but kind of need just a couple more upgrades to really like. The Cowboys and Commanders have the most potential, in my opinion, in this C tier. Like, next time I remake this, they could take the jump to A. Now it's time for my Dolphins. Offensive line, not great. Like, I have to use so many holes on the offensive line because they're all golds. Dave Casper and Mike Gesicki are good. Quarterback, Elway or Bernie Kosar, in my opinion. Running back, solid with Zonk or Ricky. Receivers, Clayton and Reek are fantastic but shorter. Then you have Brandon Marshall and you have Waddle as well. So the offense offensive line is a major struggle. Defense side of the ball, the cornerbacks are awful. So Deion's great. Probably, you know, you could use team captain spot on Eric Allen. Sammy Knight and Micah Hyde are still pretty solid duo. Eric Rowe really not it at this point in the game, though. Pass rush wise with Melvin Ingram, Kevin Carter, Cameron Wake. Solid pass rush, not really great, right? I don't think this is a great theme team, I'll be honest. I think they're like bottom of the pack C tier, and maybe a little bit generous. Maybe they deserve to be D tier, but I do think they're better than the Bucks. And now we got the Eagles. Their offensive line is okay minus right guard. Like center kind of being 84 overall is kind of iffy as well, but tight end Jimmy Giles, Dave Casper, Mike Ditka, good tight ends. Receiver wise, Carmichael, Devontae Smith is great. Using Keyshawn as a team captain, don't mind that. Elway with Vic as the backup. Shady is a great running back. Keith Byers also can run the ball as well. Defense side of the ball, though, you get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Jordan Poyer as safeties. I don't mind that duo at all. I think that's pretty solid. Cornerback Deion with Rasul Douglas. Bradbury on a theme team, I don't mind. He's kind of more of a zone corner. He can't run man, so kind of a red flag. I think Sidney Jones is somewhat still usable on the theme team as well. And pass rush wise, you get Javon Curse, Reggie White, William Perry, Fletcher Cox. I like the pass rush. I think this is an overall like okay theme team. I like a little bit of holes here and there. I think you can get it done though. I like them. I'm gonna go ahead and put them B or like top in the C in my opinion. I'm gonna go bottom tier B. I don't want to flood the C tier too much. It's just like C tier is kind of like just like a bunch of teams that are just a couple upgrades away. And now for the Falcons, offensive line, you have Tom Compton, Jake Matthews. Not really a great offensive line. You can get away with running Chris Lindstrom though. Tight end Kyle Pitts is fantastic. Receiver Hester, Roddy White. I don't think Julio's too runnable at this point in the game, but Roddy White and Hester are great. Running back with Dickerson and Cordell, love that. Quarterback Elway and Vic, love that. Defense side of the ball, you get Deion, you get D'Angelo Hall, Carlton Davis, Casey Hayward. So Hall, Sanders, and Carlton Davis are all fantastic. Safety, free safety is very lacking, but you have Laurie Malloy and Cordell Patterson as your strong safety, so you could play one of them at free safety. And then pass rush wise, you get Dwight Freeney, you get Clay Matthews, and then the interior you can get like, I feel like you got to use Keyshawn for your receivers, but man, you don't really have too many great defensive tackles either. So for Falcons, I think they're like a worse Bears, which is kind of crazy to say. I like some of their top end cards. I'm just gonna allow them middle of the pack C tier. Now we got the Giants. You get Andrew Thomas, one of the best left tackles in the game. Other than that, offensive line is a little bit of a struggle. You have Dave Casper, Shockey, Evan Ingram, all good tight ends. You need John Elway on this team, I'll be honest. Plaxico Burress, Brandon Marshall, Herman Moore, though, great wide receiver duo because they're all tall. Running back with Zonka or Saquon, love that as well. And defense side of the ball, you get Sammy Knight. Strong safety is very, very struggling. Cornerback is also pretty bad as well. You have a pretty good offense with some good players on defense with like Strahan and Lawrence Taylor. The receivers make me put them C because they're all tall and I really, really like them. And now we got the Jags, who have a pretty good offensive line minus right tackle. Dave Casper, Evan Ingram, good tight ends. Marvin Jones, Allen Robinson. DJ Chark might still be usable. 88 speed, 6'4". Receivers are lacking. Elway's great, and I don't really like T-Law, so I think you need Elway on this team. Maurice Jones-Drew, Leonard Fournette, good running backs. Defense side of the ball, you get Sammy Knight, who's great. Strong safety, major weakness. And cornerback, Ramsey, Sanders, Shaq Griffin, Sidney Jones. 4 good corners on the team. You also get Karlaftis. You get Josh Allen as pass rushers. Davon Hamilton in the middle, don't mind that. So once again, the team's just kind of really lacking some receivers. They're like really, really good. You can make this team work. I think C tier, the best way I can describe what I think about C tier is you can make the team work using like holes and players that didn't play on this team as like when you get up to like 55 out of 50. And now we got the Jets. Offensive line wise, you need a left tackle, you need a center, potentially Pat Eflin at center makes sense. Dave Casper, Lawrence Cager, great. Burris, Brandon Marshall, Sauce Gardner. I actually don't really mind that wide receiver trio because Sauce Gardner is 6'3". Running back Matt Forte is great. LT is great. Quarterback Elway or Fitzmagic, great. Offense is pretty good. Defense, Ed Reed, Jordan White, 2 good safeties. Victor Green, Steve Atwater, again, 2 good safeties. Deion, Darrell Revis, Ty Law, Sauce Gardner. Really, really like their cornerback trio. And pass rush wise is where they are a little bit lacking. I would use Sam Adams as the team captain. and then potentially you have like Quinton Williams in the middle. Kind of need some edge rushers. You could use holes on that, but I like their secondary. I like their receivers as well. I think this team top into B or our first A tier team. I'm gonna put them in B right now. I have to see what another team looks like. And now we got the Lions. Good right tackle, good center, good left guard. Tight end with Jimmy Giles, Pete, and Dave Casper. Good tight end group. Marvin Jones, Calvin, and Herman Moore's receivers is beautiful. Barry Sanders at running back. John Elway or Culpepper at quarterback. Offense is pretty good. Defense side of the ball though, Glover Quinn's great. You need another safety though. You have Night Train Lane, Dion, Jeff Okuda, and I like the three corners right here. I like the three corners. Dwight Freeney, Aiden Hutchinson, good pass rushers with Sam Adams potentially in the middle. Don't mind that at all. So I actually kind of like this team. Offensive line kind of makes me want to put them C, but I think they're one of the better teams in C. Like, I really like the receivers. Just offensive line and some safeties are some issues. And now we got the Packers, who Forrest Gregg, Jari Evans, Corey Lindsey, all good. Bakhtiari is gonna get an upgrade. Left guard and left tackle though a little bit lacking. Tight end Dave Casper is great. Elway or Rogers, don't mind that. Receivers Mark Clayton, Devontae, Donald Driver. Great receivers as well. Aaron Jones is a pretty solid running back at this point. Not great, not good, but okay. Defense side of the ball, you have Dion, you have Charles Woodson, you have Jair, you have Rasul Douglas. Beautiful cornerback room with Micah Hyde. You need another safety, but you could make this work, right? Like, you could potentially play one of these corners at safety. And pass rush wise was Zadarius Smith and Julius Peppers, with potentially Sam Adams in the middle with Jaron Reed. I actually like this team a lot. This is going to be the first A tier team. I like their receivers. I like their secondary a lot. Really didn't have any like glaring holes besides like a left tackle, which again you can use a hole on. So I think you can really make the Packers team work. And now we got the Panthers, who offensive line kind of need a right guard, right tackle. Tight end Pete is great. Greg Olsen is great. Casper, great. Receivers, kind of need to use Keyshawn. DJ Moore's okay. Laviska Shenault at this point, not really it. You have CMC, you have Elway. Mayfield, I'd say you need Elway on this team. And then defense side of the ball, Xavier Woods, not really great. And then Xavier Woods is also your best strong safety. Red flag. Quarterback though, Dion, Charles Tillman, Stephon Gilmore, Carlton Davis. Really like their corners. You can make this Xavier Woods work and then like play one of these corners at strong safety and you can make it work. You have Julius Peppers at one end. You have Reggie White at another. Use your team captain spot on Keyshawn Johnson. So Matthew Idanis and probably Derek Brown in the middle. I think they're pretty good. Like, I don't think they're bad. Once again, you can make them work. Yeah, I think like C. Just like receivers are a little bit lacking. That's really my main issue with the team. And now we got the Patriots. Offensive line is pretty solid. Casper's great. Quarterback, Elway or Bledsoe, can use both of those. Cordell at running back's fine. Chad Johnson, Brandy Moss, and then probably Keyshawn as the team captain. That's what the offense would look like. Defense side of the ball, you get Devin McCourty, you get Micah Hyde, you get Laurie Malloy, you get Victor Green. And then cornerback wise, Dion, Gilmore, Mike Haynes, Ty Law, Chandler Jones at right end, Richard Seymour defensive tackle, Mike Vrabel as well. This team's great. Like, really good. They're better than the Packers. They're going A tier. And now we got the Raiders. So the Raiders, left tackle, right tackle, they're solid. Offensive line, not really good, not really great. Jason Witten with Dave Casper is awesome. Quarterback wise, you're gonna need Elway on the team in my opinion, or Derek Carr. I'm not really a fan of Culpepper. Running back, Maurice Jones-Drew, Josh Jacobs, Eric Dickerson, fantastic. Receivers, Jerry Rice, Devontae Adams, Michael Crabtree, amazing. Defense side of the ball, you get Rod Woodson, you get Ronnie Lott, who's again a little bit dated. You get Isaiah Palomalu and Cordell Patterson. Great safeties. Quarterback wise, Dion, Mike Haynes, Tracy Porter, D'Angelo Hall. Fantastic. Pass rusher, getting like Chandler Jones, Richard Seymour. Ted Hendricks can rush the passer fine. Like, you can make this team work like really good. Like, this team's awesome. Probably the second best team in the game. Maybe Patriots are better, but I really like the team. And now we got the Rams. The Rams really need a left tackle, but tight end Casper's great. Receivers, Cooper Kupp, Dante Hall, and potentially Keyshawn Johnson as the team captain. That is a very great offense with Elway as a QB or Burt Jones. Either one is fine. Dickerson, Jerome Bettis, good running back duo. Defense side of the ball, Taylor Rapp, John Johnson, Nolan Cromwell is top end in the game. You get Leonard Floyd, you get Aaron Donald. the two best pass rushers in the game, in my opinion. Dion, Jalen, Anus Williams, Night Train. Play one of these cards at free safety. This team, I love this team. I'll be honest. I love the Rams team. I think they are great. You get Cup, you get Donald, you get Leonard Floyd. Three of the best cards in the game, period. Love that. And you also get Elway. You probably get the top 4 cards in the game on this same team. And now we got the Ravens. Ogden's great. Willie Anderson great. Jensen's great as well. Just need like a left guard and a right guard. You can probably move Morgan Moses and Orlando Brown there and you're fine. Todd Heap's great. Casper's great. Quarterback Elway or Lamar or Aaron McNair. You can make quarterback work no matter what. Ricky Williams is still solid. You get Hester, you get Jacoby Jones, you get Michael Crabtree. Offense, pretty perfect. Defense side of the ball though, Ed Reed, Rod Woodson, great. Kyle Hamilton, at this point in the game, he's more like kind of like a user, like 86 speed, not really it. So he probably won't play for you. So Rod Woodson or Ed Reed, the strong safety. And then cornerback Dion, Samari Roll, Chris McAllister, 3 good corners. For pass rush, you get Paul Kruger, you get Zadarius Smith with potentially like also T Sizzle as well. So maybe you can move some of these guys into the interior depending on the defense. You get Saragusa, you get Nada as well. I think this team is also really good. I'm going to go ahead and lob them up in the A tier as well. And now we got the Saints. Teron Armstead's pretty good. I like their offensive line, period. Dave Casper, Jeremy Shockey, good. Quarterback, gonna need Elway. Alvin Kamara's great. Receivers, Michael Thomas is good. Cook's not really great. Olave not really great at this point either. So gonna need Keyshawn Johnson. You're still missing a receiver. Defense though with Sammy Knight, Tyrann Mathieu, Victor Green as well. 3 good safeties with Dion, Tracy Porter, Chris McAllister, Marshawn Lattimore. You also have pass rush wise, Karlaftis, Paul Kruger. I mean, I like them, but you're missing one receiver. Literally, you're missing one receiver, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put them like B. But again, you're literally missing one receiver. If you fix that one receiver spot, this is a pretty good team for you. And now for the Seahawks. Offensive line is pretty bad on the left side. I mean, right side is okay. You get Pete at tight end. You get Greg Olsen. Receivers with Hester, Jerry Rice, Doug Baldwin. Actually, Hester, Jerry Rice, Brandon Marshall. That receiving trio is pretty nasty. You have Edge at running back. You have Elway at quarterback or Russell Wilson. You can't afford Elway. Defense side of the ball, you get Lori Malloy and Bam Bam Cam as your safety duo. You get Dion, you get Shaq Griffin, Tariq Woolen, Sidney Jones. 4 pretty good corners. I like Shaq Griffin. I like Dion the most out of that. And then pass rush wise, you get Dwight Freeney, you get Karlaftis, you get Frank Clark, you get John Randall as well, and potentially Sam Adams or Eric Allen. So you can make the team work really good. I don't like them as much as some of the A tier teams, so I'm gonna go ahead and lob them up into this B tier. And now we got the Steelers. Steelers offensive line is really not that good. You have Dave Casper, who's good. Quarterback wise, Elway or Vic. Bettis at running back, starting to get a little bit dated for him as like a backup. Jacoby Jones, Hines Ward, Burris as receivers though, really good, and Claypool as well. They have 4 good receivers, really only need 3 though. So defense side of the ball though, they have Rod Woodson and Minka. Minka at this point in the game, not really too like great on a team, but Rod Woodson and Troy P, good safety duo with Dion and not really great corners. Pass rush wise, you have Melvin Ingram, you have Mike Vrabel, you have Mean Joe Green in the middle, and you'll probably use Eric Allen as a team captain. So you have 2 good corners. I don't really think they're that good. The receivers, put them in C tier for me because there is some value to run them. And now we got the Texans. Offensive line, not good. Casper's great. Receivers, Jacoby Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, probably Keyshawn is the team captain. Running back is horrible. I mean, Dameon Pierce is fun to use, but not really good. Then you have Elway or Fitzmagic as QB, so offense, not really good. Defense side of the ball, Ed Reed, Tyrann Mathieu as their safety duo. You have Dion, you have Eric Stingley, not really great. Pass rush wise, JJ Watt, Harold. This team is not good. This team, it's just not good. And now for the Titans. Decent offensive linemen in Bruce Matthews and Nate Davis. You probably don't have this 85 Lawan. Tight end, Delaney Walker, Jimmy Giles, Casper are all great. Receivers, Charlie Joyner, Randy Moss, and probably Keyshawn because Derek Mason isn't great. Quarterback, you can use Elway or Aaron McNair. Running back and Derrick Henry is great as well. So defense side of the ball, Kevin Byard's awesome. Amani Hooker at this point, not really great. And quarterback wise with Dion, Samari Roll, this Randy Moss right here is probably going to play for you. I think they're okay. They just really aren't great. Like C tier once again. And for the last team in the video, we got the Vikings. So Vikings, offensive line is pretty solid. You have Randall McDaniel, you have Tom Compton. Just need to figure out this right guard spot. Dave Casper's great. Quarterback, Elway or Culpepper. Receivers, you have Diggs, Moss, and Jefferson. Not bad. Aaron Jones is pretty solid. I would personally run Dalvin Cook on this team, though. And defense side of the ball, Xavier Woods can hold it down. Cordell Patterson, Harrison Smith. You have 3 pretty good safeties. Cornerback Dion, Pat Pete, Cameron Dantzler, I don't believe is too great at this point. Actually, he's actually pretty good on the team. 90 speed, 6'2". And this Randy Moss too at this point, not great, but on a full team can hold it down. Pass rush wise, Zadarius Smith and Karlaftis with like John Randall and Ty McGill in the middle. You could use Eric Allen or you could use Keyshawn Johnson for your team captain spot. I think this team is pretty solid. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the B tier. And yeah, y'all, this is my thoughts on the theme teams in Madden 23 Ultimate Team. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what team you're rocking. Let me know if you think anyone deserves to go up or down. I know I lobbed a bunch of teams in the C tier, but these teams, in my opinion, are all similar. Like, they're just like a couple upgrades away from being like really, really good. At this point, I would describe all these theme teams as like okay, and you can make them work if you use your holes properly. I think B tier and A tier, you can turn all these teams into pretty elite theme teams using your holes properly. I think you could turn these teams into like good teams, but D and F, I just think there's like no hope. But yeah, y'all, if you did enjoy the video, you enjoy content like this, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see me use my theme team live, make sure to go ahead, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. If you don't feel like heading over to Twitch right now, you guys want another video to watch, check this one out right here. I ranked the best card at each position in Madden 23.